Hey guys! So today I thought I would share a little bit about my Instagram with you. My theme, how I edit my photos, and kind of where I've been going with my Instagram. Instagram is a platform that I have very much underestimated and have been neglecting for years actually. Now I did post on Instagram regularly, I have been posting regularly for a long time, but I kind of just posted whatever. I didn't really have a strategy, as it were, or kind of like a theme or just any rhyme or reason to what I was posting to Instagram other than, hey, this is a nice photo, I want to share it. But a few weeks back, kind of like in May, I just kind of suddenly felt this spark of inspiration. Sounds so dramatic when I say it like that, but I just suddenly felt more motivated to do something with my Instagram and kind of make more out of it than I was currently doing. Social media being my job and everything, I just feel like I should maybe put a little bit more effort into my Instagram. So I looked at loads of videos of people who, you know, edit their Instagram photos and how they make their themes and everything. And I ended up coming up with a theme for myself, which I have been sticking to since then. So it has been up for a few weeks and I have it here, so let me just pull that up on my phone for you. So here is my current Instagram, and let's see, here you can see my theme. I feel like it's pretty clear. I have a very kind of green nature kind of theme going on. Yeah, I haven't been doing this for very long, like I mentioned, so it starts right about here. This is kind of the bottom of my theme, and you can see kind of everything below that is just random photos, as I did for years before that. So yeah, I'd say my theme starts from right around here, and then scrolling up you can see pretty clearly what the thing is that I'm doing with it. So my theme focuses on kind of two things. I have a certain vibe in my photos and I have a color scheme. So very obviously my color scheme is green and then with a white kind of strip running down the center. So I always have kind of like a predominantly green photo on either side of a predominantly white photo. The vibe is kind of desaturated, a little bit moody, quite dark. Yeah, that is kind of the vibe that I'm going for. So when I started developing my theme, or the theme that I wanted to go with, I knew that the most important thing for me was that I would still be able to share kind of normal photos. I am still not a big fan of the super heavily curated, heavily edited Instagram feed. I absolutely love the idea of like a pretty feed that you can scroll down and everything just matches together and looks nice, but I don't want it to feel super overly edited or fake, or as if all the photos that I'm posting are just for Instagram. Of course, some of my photos are very much posed and I do like photo shoots and everything, but I wanted to be able to throw kind of actual real life candid photos in there as well, to keep everything feeling authentic. I feel like that's something that's really important to me, and it also just is in line with what I'm doing on YouTube and everything as well. I do want to keep things real, just a little bit more polished, as you know, if that makes sense, on my Instagram. Yeah, so as you can see by how, you know, not very far down this goes, I have only just begun. When did I upload the first photo? May 18th, so I really haven't been doing this for very long, but I do feel like this is a really nice theme for me and one that I can easily stick with. And I feel like another reason for that is when I when I chose this theme, what I did was I just scrolled through my gallery on my phone and I kind of tried to pick out things that were recurring anyway, and I noticed that so many of my photos were taken outdoors with like bushes or trees or grass in the background. So I kind of, you know, took that and ran with it for the rest of my feed as well, because that is something that I can easily maintain. It is realistic for me. I have green around me everywhere and I just do spend a lot of time outdoors. You know, I don't have to go out of my way to create photos with this color scheme and kind of theme and vibe and everything, because it is already so present in my life, and that just helps again make everything feel more genuine, and not just feel like be more genuine. So yeah, that's currently kind of where I'm going, and I do plan to kind of fine-tune this a little bit more, and I also want to tie the subjects of my photos into what I'm doing a little bit more, so that when you scroll through my feed, you don't only, you know, see me, of course, but also a little bit of what I do. And, you know, the main themes that are on my YouTube channel, I want those to be on my Instagram as well, or just be a little bit more visible on my Instagram as well. One thing I will say, because obviously you haven't been able to see this yet, but it is something I'm planning to do. I want to keep this vibe, but change the colors as the seasons change. So I have a few holidays coming up now that the summer's here, where I will be spending some time at the beach and, you know, blue skies and everything. We don't get many blue skies in the Netherlands, that's why all my skies are white in here. But yeah, like blue skies, sandy beaches. So I will slowly shift towards more of those colors for kind of that period when I am away on holidays. And then when autumn comes around, I plan to transition to a more kind of red, orange, brown color scheme, but again keeping this same kind of vibe, this you know, nice and calm and naturey and kind of colors with a little bit of a warm filter over them. So yes, another thing I did want to mention is I try not to over edit my photos. So I do put a filter over them to make sure that everything, you know, fits with each other and the colors kind of match, but I don't edit my face or my body. I just don't feel comfortable with that. I don't feel like it's necessary at all. And yeah, I try not to over edit in general. So like I mentioned, I do want my photos still to be natural, just go together a little bit better. So okay, with that being said, then I think that's about everything for my feed. I try to do the whole, you know, not post two selfies next to each other or two like full body shots next to each other, but I feel like I am not very good at that. You know, like I mentioned, I still have a lot to learn. I'm still practicing, so I will probably get better at that. I think that's about all about my feed. So let's take a look at how I edit my photos. So as I was doing my research, you know, how to make Instagram work, I came across a bunch of videos, you know, girls showing how they edit their photos, and I picked up a lot of really cool apps from that. So I'm gonna share them with you today as well. So I have a tab here on my phone that is photography, and these are kind of the apps that I use. And the first three of these, so Snapseed, Visco and Unum, are the ones that I use for my photos, and then Unfold, Canva and Legend are more kind of like things that I might use for my stories, but we're not gonna focus on that today. I'm gonna stick to my, you know, feed, my Instagram feed. I guess the first thing I want to show you is Unum, this app right here. And this is a great app to have if you have a little bit more of a kind of structured Instagram feed like I do with the green, white, green, because this allows you to plan ahead and kind of, well, what you see here is my imported Instagram feed. So this is everything that is on my Instagram right now that is online, and then I can scroll up and just kind of add photos. So you have a little preview here of what is going up in the next couple of days. I have a few photos already planned that I plan to upload in the next coming days, and you can upload straight from this app, which is really handy as well. But mostly what I like that I can do here is I can move these photos around. So I can just drag them around and, you know, position them wherever I want to, or you can kind of switch them like that. And that way I can kind of move my photos around until I find a place for them where they fit. And then I usually have a few photos that I've already edited and that are ready, just hanging out up here to be used whenever I have a place for them. So I often have kind of like a few photos ready to go up. And then I like to kind of inject a few real-time photos when I'm, you know, when I've done something fun that day and I have a nice photo of it, then I do like to post it as close to the actual date as possible. I do have a few photos ready at all times, but I'm not very rigid with sticking to this schedule. I will kind of post more recent photos in there as well whenever I have some. So I really like this app for kind of seeing how everything goes together and what is going up when. So let me just edit a photo live to kind of show you what I do and my process and everything. So I'm gonna open Visco. First thing I do is import a photo. So I'm gonna do, let's see. So I'm gonna do this one, the windmill photo here. So then I just open the editor itself, and ViscoCam, I feel like Visco is one of the most used apps this because it has a wide variety of beautiful filters and just lots of great options. Yeah, I saw this used a lot when I was doing my research. So what I do in this, first and foremost, is I always crop my photos to 4:5. So I will either do 4:5 or 1:1. Those are the formats that Instagram supports. I try to never do like wide photos. I always make them either tall or square, just because it looks better when you scroll down, you know, it catches attention. So I do 4:5 usually, and then I will just kind of look for a nice crop for my photo like that. Then I will do, you know, any straightening if necessary. So let me just straighten up that windmill like that. And then I don't do much other editing in this besides maybe sharpen a little bit. But what I will do is apply my filter. Now I have a kind of standard filter combination pack, or kind of like edit pack. It allows you, like when you go over here, VSCO kind of allows you to save a preset of edits, and I have one saved here that I just throw over all of my photos, and then I edit this. I kind of go from here for every photo individually, because obviously every photo starts out different. Some start out brighter or darker than others, or warmer or cooler. But my kind of standard preset is the filter Dog 1 turned up to 6, and then the exposure turned down, contrast turned up, and a little bit of fade, which kind of desaturates the colors, and vignettes, of course. So let me just kind of, Dog 1 is one of the standard filters. I do believe I found it in the shop, but it was free when I downloaded it. So that is one that I like to use. And when you turn it up all the way, you can see it's quite a warm kind of brownish filter. So I just turn that down to 6. And then I just go in here and I kind of adjust the edits. So I will turn the brightness back up a little bit for this photo, maybe like that much. And I think I'm gonna turn the temperature down just a little bit. Alright, so then when I'm satisfied with my filter and everything, I will save my photo, save it to my gallery, and then I open the next app, which is Snapseed. And Snapseed is quite magical. I don't know where I'd be without Snapseed. This is, you can do everything in this app. I open my photo, and now what I do mostly is I use my tools. So I don't really use the filters and everything that Snapseed offers, I just use the tools. So for example, one thing I love most about this app is, as you can see here in the background, there is an old lady looking at the windmill. So something you can do is use the healing tool in Snapseed, and then you can just kind of select the old lady and it magically just erases her. So it's not doing a very good job this time, but last time I did this for the photo that's actually publishing, I've already edited this photo, it's already lined up to go up. It ended up turning her into the bush. So there was like another branch of the bush that was where the old lady was standing. But usually when you do this and there isn't like a structure on the background, you can't really tell that there was something edited there. So I like to do that with really kind of disrupting ugly things in the background, like road signs, or, you know, random people that are standing somewhere, or things that are like distinctly a different color. For example, I had a photo a few days back of our backpacking trekking trip on the West Highland Way, and I have this super bright orange strap on my backpack. So I just kind of removed that because that would have disrupted the whole photo and pulled too much attention to it. So I sometimes do things like that. Here you can see there's the lady and then she's gone. It's amazing. And then another tool that I like to use is HDRscape. Yeah, you can see what it does here, but I just use a tiny little bit of this sometimes, like that. And then another thing I really like to use, especially when I'm in the photo myself, is the portrait mode. And then the face spotlight. Now it kind of struggles with this photo because my face is really small, but it will find it eventually. Here we go. So you can see here again what it does when you turn it all the way up. It really just puts a spotlight kind of on my face. So I like to use that a little bit to just kind of pull focus to the face of a photo that usually, well, photos with faces do well on Instagram. Sounds silly when you say it like that, but people enjoy looking at people. So when you kind of pull the eye, the attention of the eye towards the face, it just makes for a more pleasant to look at photo. So another thing, so that's something I like to use. And another thing I really like about Snapseed is the selective tool. So for example, I could select this piece of sky here and then turn up the brightness for that to make it a little bit lighter, and I could do the same thing on the other side here, like that. Or I could take this grass, for example. So say I thought this grass was a little bit too green, I could put it to saturation and desaturate it a little bit so that it is nice and dark then. I sometimes do that with patches of green that are just a very bright kind of limey green, when most of my feed is more like a darker foresty green, if that makes any sense. So I sometimes do that. And let's see what other tools. Snapseed just has so many amazing tools. I really like details as well, and especially the structure part of that. You can just add, it adds sharpness in a really kind of more sophisticated way than just adding sharpness all around. So it kind of, you know, yeah, it pulls out the details in your photo. That's really nice as well. Yeah, I do believe that is pretty much all I do to my photos on a regular. So then I will just save it, save a copy of the photo, then I will load it into Unum, give it a nice place in my feed, and then I'm good to go. So there is how I edit my Instagram photos and kind of what I do with my feed and everything. So like I mentioned, I do try to make things look nice and make a little bit more polished without going overboard. I don't like the overly edited, super Instagram model type of look. I, you know, try to keep things real and natural and just make sure that it is, you know, pleasing to the eye as well. So I do hope you found this video interesting and maybe helpful, guys. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for loads more beauty and lifestyle content. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, there's a link in the description box below. Thank you so much. There's another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!